Welcome back, and today we're going to make chocolate pistachio brownies. I can't wait. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I have preheated my oven to 325. I'm cooking the brownies in a glass casserole dish. If you're going to use a metal one, cook them at 350. So 325 for glass. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to melt 3 sticks of butter, which is 1.5 cups. So each one of the butters is a half a cup. So half a cup and half a cup is 1, and then another one is 1.5 or 3 sticks of butter. And I'm going to melt them in the microwave. So I'm just going to put them in this glass measuring cup. It's a very big cup. I don't need a measuring cup for this, but this one has a handle, so it just makes it more handy. So that's why I'm using this. So any glass bowl will do. And then I'm going to need 8 ounces of baker's chocolate, and it's the unsweetened one. So each one of these is 4 ounces, and I need 8, so I need 2 packages. And like I said, it's the unsweetened one. Oh, they changed the packaging in here. It used to be like a wax paper, sort of parchment paper thing. Okay, so to speed up the melting, it's easier if you break it up a little. That smells good. But if you ate that without it being sweet, it'd be very bitter. But it does smell delicious. Once you add the sugar, then it's no longer bitter. I think the other packaging is easier to get off. So by the way, these are marked with the little 1/4 ounce. If you need less, it's easy to measure. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the microwave and I'll start melting it. Okay, so while that's melting, and everybody's microwave is different, so it's going to be just like, I'll have to stop and look when it beeps and see if it's melted yet. And depending how high your microwave is turned up to makes a difference. Also, I had the butter out a little while, so it's more room temperature than freezing cold, so it just all depends. So the next step is I need 6 eggs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I did have to make the microwave go longer. So now I have my 6 eggs here, and I like to always add my extracts into my eggs since it's all liquidy. And I'm going to use pure vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon. And then since we're using pistachios, I like to, when I'm using nuts, I like to use almond extract also. So we got a teaspoon of vanilla, and let's do a teaspoon of almond. That'll make it taste, have like a nuttier taste to it. Also, I really love almond extract. It smells quite wonderful and tastes really, really good. Okay, so we're just going to pre-mix up these eggs. That vanilla and the almond extract smells wonderful. All right. Now we're going to do the sugar, and we need 4 cups of white sugar, granulated sugar. Adjust the camera just a tad. There we go. All right, so we have cup. I left it inside here. So I'm going to level it off using the back of the knife, because when you measure sugar, you need to level it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we're going to do the flour. But we're going to add the flour later. I'm going to just measure it out, and I'm just going to stick it over here, because we're going to get the butter in here, the egg, and then we'll add the flour. So I'm just going to measure it out into here for right now. So 2 cups of flour. 1. Sorry, I just realized that I wasn't in the frame. You do want to level it off when you're doing flour. And I'm just using this particular measuring cup just to add it to there later. Because your liquid measure and your dry measure is not 100% exact. That's why I did not use it to actual, I'm just using it as a container. All right, I'm going to go check on our chocolate and our butter. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up, make sure it's actually completely mixed in. Make sure I don't have any big clumps of butter. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Just going to keep on mixing it up. Make sure I don't have anything that's unmelted. Okay, so it appears to be all melted. So let's make sure we have all our ingredients. So I have my melted chocolate and butter. I have my 4 cups of sugar. I have my 6 eggs with the vanilla extract and the almond extract. And I have my 2 cups of flour. So I'm going to just set this all aside, and we're going to go ahead and butter and flour the baking dish next. Okay, so I have a hunk of butter, and I like to use real butter when I'm, first of all, to make the brownies, real butter for sure, but when I'm doing the greasing of the dish, I don't like to use nonstick spray because it leaves behind a flavor. I would rather have my goodies taste more like butter than some like odd taste from the nonstick. So it's always a good idea to use the real butter, and then you flour it, and it's all ingredients that's in your, whatever you're making. In this case, the chocolate pistachio brownies. So I have just some plastic wrap, just to kind of keep my hands clean. And I want to make sure that I get it in all the crevices. And like I have enough butter now, so I'm just going to put the butter back, and I'm just going to use this plastic wrap to get any spot that I might have missed. Hope everybody's having a good day. Brownies sounded really good to me today, so people might wonder, how do you decide what you're going to make for your channel? Whatever I decide that we're eating, that I haven't filmed or I want to film, that's how I decide. And today is a good brownie day. All right, so now we're going to put some flour on here. Don't need a ton. Okay, and then we're going to take this over to the sink. We don't make too big of a mess. Move my faucet out of the way. Let's see. There we go. I'm just kind of go like this. Okay, so I have one of these silicone things that people use like for barbecuing and stuff. This works great for the excess flour. So I just kind of hold this up, and I just kind of take it And then also I can get it in any spot that I missed. Okay. All right, so I will meet you at the mixer. Okay, so we're going to start with the sugar, and we're going to use this attachment today. So, because we're not making cookie dough or bread dough, so I'm not going to use my dough hook. And I certainly don't want to use this hook because this is good for like egg whites and sauces and things like that, whipped cream, very light. All right, so we got the sugar, and we're going to pour in the chocolate and the butter. And that's why I like to melt it in this measuring cup that's easy to pour. And then I can take the rubber spatula and just scrape all the chocolate and butter. This smells delicious already. Okay. Let's get this mixed up, and then I will be adding the eggs next. The flour is going to be last. Getting ahead of myself here. Okay. All right, let's get this mixed up. Okay, let's check to make sure it's not sticking too much. The sides. Okay. Seems to be good. So we are going to add our eggs and extract next. That smells so good with the extracts. Okay, so this is looking really smooth, which is good. So I'm going to just start adding, I'm just going to kind of move this, and I'm going to just start gradually adding my flour. Scrape down the sides. This is smelling delicious. Just kind of scraping my spatula on the beater. Okay, let's get this mixed up some more. Okay, let's check it. Okay, it's looking good. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and measure out our pistachios. Okay, so we have shelled pistachios because it would be a lot of work to take them all out of the shell. Of course, you could do that if you wanted to. All right, so we're going to do 2 cups. And I'm going to keep them whole for the inside. We're going to put some pistachios on the top later, but for the inside, we're keeping them whole. And I'm going to just pour these in, and I'm not using the mixer to mix them in because I don't want to break up the pistachios. So I'm going to mix them in by hand. Those smell good. This is going to be a great combination. Pistachios and chocolate. Yum. It's nice to have the handle on the mixing bowl so you can kind of hold on to it while you're mixing. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, so I'm going to just mix this up a little bit more and then we'll pour it into the large casserole dish. Oh, by the way, that is a 10 by 15 is what we're using today. Okay, so now we're going to pour in the brownie batter. And it's going to be kind of thick because it's brownies. And it's handy to have a rubber spatula so you can really scrape the sides. So if you don't have one and you're going to do a lot of baking, it'd be very helpful to get one. I have several of them. I can tell this is going to be yummy. Sometimes you just know. You can just smell it and you're like, oh, this is going to be so good. So I'm going to scrape the stuff off this rubber spatula. And I've found that when you're trying to either do a cake or frosting, that sort of thing, when you're spreading stuff, I find that metal works better. I'm actually going to use something you would frost a cake with because I want to really get this even. And this is better to like push into the corners. So I want the brownies even so that they cook. Not to repeat it again, but they cook evenly. So we want it all kind of the same level. And this is just going to make it easier. So you have to push it into the corners. And this is a thicker brownie. Okay, I need some more here, so I'm just going to push it into the corner. Yeah, so these, even if you're not really into doing fancy frosting, these are still just a great thing to put in, like I said, in the brownie batter. Or if you're frosting a cake, even if you're not wanting to be super fancy, it just makes it easier. I'm just looking for low spots. Not have this right there, just let it burn. Okay, so we are ready to put this in the oven that has been preheated to 325. It's going to take probably approximately 30 to 35 minutes or so. Everybody's oven's different. It's summertime, so the humidity is different. Right now it's pretty dry here, but you might be in a climate that has a lot of humidity. So I would recommend definitely checking the brownies. I'm going to check them after 20 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes just to take a peek. Put it in the middle of your oven, like I said, at 325. So we will check back on it soon. Okay, so while the brownies are baking in the oven, I'm going to measure out some pistachios. I'm going to do probably about a cup. All right, so it's about a cup, maybe a little bit more than a cup. And now I'm going to put it into a Ziploc bag because we're going to crush these up a little bit. Because after we're done making the brownies, I'm going to put some chocolate on top and melt some chocolate chips on top, and then we're going to sprinkle them with pieces of pistachios. So I'm not putting this into a blender or something like that because I don't want it like pistachio dust or pistachio crumbs. I want chunks, but I don't want it that big. So I want somewhere in the middle. So let's see how we can do. I'm just going to take a spoon and I'm just going to go ahead. I'll show you kind of a close-up when I'm done. Like I said, I don't want pistachio crumbs. So I want it broken up, but not broken up too much. So I'm going to continue to do this, and then I will go ahead and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So this is how it's looking. I'm going to take some out of the bag to show you how I wanted it. All right, so they're broken up, but they're not minced. They're not like, you know, pistachio crumbs. So those we will sprinkle on. Oh, also I wanted to note that these are salted pistachios. So if you were on a low salt diet, I suppose you could get the ones that don't have salt. But they're not overly salty because I've already tasted some because I love pistachios. So anyway, we will go check on our brownies in just a little bit. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes. Still got more time to go, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like at the 20-minute point, and we will check on it again soon. All right. Based on the smell, I think it's done, but let's check this out. Okay. And for brownies, that's perfect. So we are going to pull it, and we'll do the next step. Okay, so it is done. Now you can kind of see where it's kind of bubbled up. It's kind of cracked along the edges. It's kind of like caramelized, so it is ready. Now, the trick to doing this topping is to do it when it's super hot. So what I have right now is I have some dark chocolate morsels. You can use just regular milk chocolate or semi-sweet. I happen to like dark chocolate, so that's what I'm going to use. And I want to just pour it on here while it is hot. Okay, so this is, like I said, a 10 by 15. So I'm going to probably use a package and a half. So I don't feel like I need 2 full packages, but I do think I need like a package and a half. And the heat off of this should make it melt. Okay, we're just going to keep those handy in case I decide to add the rest of that. See how it's starting to melt? And I'm just going to kind of spread it. Let's just give it a few minutes to continue to melt, and then I'll spread it some more. So let's just wait. So this is an amazing smelling dish, and I really can't wait to taste test it. So I'm just going to let it melt a little bit more, and then we'll start smearing it. Okay, so I made a decision. I'm going to pour the rest of these on here while it's nice and hot because I want it thicker. I want the layer of chocolate on top to be thicker. So we'll just start putting these into the corners so it can melt, and every bite will be deliciously chocolatey. is going to be good. Like I said, the key is to put it on while it's hot. That's why I had to make my decision on how many morsels I was going to put on there. So I did use the 2 packages, full 2 packages. And this also will make these brownies super moist. It's going to hold in all that luscious flavor. But what we're going to have to do after this melts, I'm going to put the pistachios on, and then I'm probably going to have to just wait a while before I do the taste test so this can harden up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of keep on working it into the corners. It's going to melt pretty fast. Just kind of go back and forth. So I'm just going to continue to do this until I'm ready for the pistachios. Okay, so now you can see I've just done this kind of going back and forth for a few minutes just to make it super smooth. Okay, so now we're going to take those pistachios that I prepared. I'm just going to take kind of a handful right now, and I'm just going to kind of go through. I probably have more pistachios than I need, which is fine because I can always put some on ice cream or in cereal or whatever. Because I don't think I need the entire, cup of pistachios. But I didn't want to have to do it again a second time. So I just thought, well, I'll just make enough that I know I'll have some extra. Like I said, you can mix it in with your ice cream. Okay, I think we're almost about there. Okay, so that looks good to me. Maybe just a couple right here. Couple here. And that looks good. All right, so we are done. We are ready for the taste test soon as it cools down. So I'm going to let this cool down to at least like hopefully room temperature before I do the taste test. And it's going to be hard to wait, but I'll see you soon. All right, so it's cooled down enough to go ahead and do the taste test. And as you can see, the chocolate chip morsels have kind of dried a little bit. And it's ready for the taste test. All right, my favorite part, the taste test. I want to show this to you. So I got a corner piece here, and it'll cut a little bit better when it's completely cooled down. It's still a little bit warm, but that's my favorite way to eat desserts if you've watched my channel before. Okay, let's try it. That is unbelievably delicious. The pistachios have added moisture to the brownie, and the pistachios aren't hard anymore. They're soft on the inside ones. Absolutely delicious. The almond extract and the vanilla extract really complement and just really a very wonderful flavor profile. Absolutely delicious. Let me get another piece. The topping holds in all that moisture. that is a very decadent, wonderful dessert. So happy I made it today. It's absolutely delicious. The family's going to enjoy it for sure. I'm going to enjoy it. Probably I'll eat more than one piece for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. And if you don't, I hope that you do. And please go back and check out some of my previous videos. I have main courses, side dishes, and of course, my favorite desserts. Thanks for watching.